Hi, welcome to 49 Going on Dead. My name's Atratus, and I am a 49-year-old aging goth on an absurd mission to deal with my depression through exercise, as advised by my therapist. Okay, this was unplanned. I was actually doing some work on the computer and looked out the window and it was like, holy crap, it's actually sunshiny. So I will take the opportunity where I can get it, since we're fully in the middle of the endless rainy season, where in Vancouver it rains from October until February. So out into the crappy hall and down the crappy stairs we go. They redid the roof, which I appreciate, considering that I had some leaks inside the apartment last year. That's how lovely this building is. But this leak, wherever this is coming from, has nothing to do with the roof, and it continues. It's like, it may never be figured out. It's I can't even imagine what kind of rot is going on, and the water and the light fixture and everything. It's just scary. So off we go. I already missed the sun.
You saw the sun.
the brief flash of sunshine. They were reading a story, grade 3 or so, sci-fi story. People living on Venus, under the clouds. Oh yeah, and it's November 1st, by the way, and I'm doing the voiceover the same day as the ride, and okay, 1st of the month, and obviously someone's moving here with their quality moving van. Barely it's almost the same quality as Man Bun Movers. I never mentioned that when that whole ordeal was done, they had actually tracked a cockroach into the apartment. There was this slightly mangled, fully adult cockroach, and I haven't seen any cockroaches in here. Another sort of semi-bonus to this shithole is at least it doesn't have cockroaches. But the movers brought one with them. Isn't that courteous of them? So, it's the quality movers dragging cockroaches from one shithole to another. At least I saw it and got rid of it before, who knows? For all I know, it could have been a male, and that was going to be the end of it. Anyway, this sudden opportunity to go riding, I thought I'd go out and do a baseline and recreate the first ride again to see how hard it was, because after the ride all the way out to the Musqueam Cultural Center and back, that great long hour-long ride, I was actually surprised to not be anywhere near as exhausted as I had been on the very first ride back in July. So, I somehow, okay, this person's pulled over, and right now I'm watching the traffic and waiting to pull out wide enough that I don't get doored, which I managed to pull off successfully. So anyway, so things have improved. I managed to, do that great hour-long ride, and was not as tired at the end of it as I was after the first ride. So I just wanted to see exactly how much easier this whole thing would be. And other things I learned, like putting Velcro on the basket. When I went over the tracks there, the basket almost bounced out. One of the hooks came off. But it did not fall to the ground, and I did not lose anything. I was just readjusting it there. That's what I stopped for. Because after now having that happen a few times, I learned to Velcro the thing down in addition to the clips, so that it doesn't leap off the bike when I go over railroad tracks. Anyway, so we're off. You've seen this if you've been watching these videos. One of the 3 people that does, you've seen this whole path before. You know where I'm going, and it's a baseline run. The whole point of it being a baseline run is that I've done this ride over and over again. So let's talk about some other stuff that I've wanted to talk about for a while, such as, it's social media and the internet and what this is doing. There's this, you keep seeing these things where, okay, well, here's one to start with. One that I've been seeing people say, and it seems to be a real meme, not not a picture of a cat with words on it, but an actual sort of zeitgeist thing going on. It's like, you shouldn't judge people based on their clothes. Yes, you should. You should judge people on their clothes. The clothes are a choice. You shouldn't judge people on their skin or their height or things that they can't control. But people decide what they're going to wear. And they decide what they are going to wear based on how they want to present themselves and what social group they are presenting themselves as. Right? Like if someone shows up at a Bauhaus concert with lime green sloppy sweatpants that say juicy across the butt and a yellow t-shirt, that's not going to work. You don't show up at, the opera wearing Crocs. You will be judged on that. So yeah, judge people on their clothes, because that's how people choose to present themselves. Right? Like, okay, there's a certain fairness. Like, if someone's broke, you can't really judge someone who's impoverished on the exact nature of their clothing, but how they deal with it, how they present themselves. Choices are still made. I'm pretty damn broke. I work at an art gallery. I don't make a lot of money. I certainly don't make anywhere near the kind of money that I did when I was, managing an IT department for a investment bank. It's this totally different realm. And so I have to make choices about my clothing, and it isn't as nice as I would like it to be, but I still try to present myself well, and I present myself in a certain way, and in a way that has the hallmarks of the subculture that I identify with. And so, I'm expecting to be judged by what I wear, and and maybe judged harshly by people who don't like what I'm into. There's an old Kids in the Hall sketch. Two guys on the subway platform, and one says to the other,
"All right, but tell me this: how can you tell just by looking at me that I hate the kind of music you listen to? I want to know."
That's how it works. So yeah, go ahead, judge people on their clothes. Forget what the fluffy bunny shit on the internet, because it's this special flower crap, and it's not right. It's like, and there's search bubbles and stuff. You talk about that. Google shows you what you want to see based on what you've already looked for, and everybody's aware of that, or at least they should be aware of that. If you're not aware of that, then you really should become aware of it. But there's more than that. Like, the social media and the weird, and I put this in little air quotes, empowering bullcrap. There is no internet quiz on. They're all designed to tell you what you already want to hear, because so you go to them and you see the ads, and you're never going to take well, okay, let's go with what started all of this. You're never going to take a should I stay with my spouse quiz that's going to say yes, you should, because no one takes a quiz like that unless they want to hear the, you know, they want validation. You know, they want the result that they already want. You know, it's like, so of course the quiz is always going to say what you wanted. You know, they're just crap. I passed this, you know, I'll talk about it on the way back on the bridge, but yeah, the evidence of people setting fireworks, and there's some broken glass, which really kind of worried me, on the bridge here. So people were obviously up here last night. It's November 1st today, so last night was Halloween, shooting fireworks off the bridge, which actually would be kind of fun. Except for, you know, the fact that there's no exit. You know, if you get, it'd be super easy to get caught in the middle of the bridge shooting fireworks. You know, of all the things that the police have to deal with on Halloween. Probably a minor raunch and easy to get away with. But yeah, broken glass on the bike path, didn't really appreciate that. But yeah, the social media, it's you know, it's just there to reinforce your own damage, and that's what it's going to do. It's an enabler. You know, whatever you, it just, people tell you what you want to hear, and you know, like your shit, and just create this feedback loop where you can go, so you don't actually deal with what's bothering you, empowering you to, you know, my generation, and the people slightly younger than me, we're all gonna die alone and lonely because we just continuously get told how we should be, you know, how self-actualized and wonderful we should be. You know, there's. You remember Rocky? Do you remember what he said about he and Adrian?
I don't see it. What's the attraction?
I don't know. Fills gaps, I guess.
What's gaps?
I don't know, gaps. She's got gaps, I got gaps. Together we fill gaps. I don't know.
And that was sweet. But, you know, now it's codependent. And a bad thing. You know, actually depending on someone else and tying your life together with someone else is this strangely horrible thing. So no wonder and that's endlessly reinforced. It's just you know, it's just bullcrap. And anyway, that's something I've wanted to say for a while. But you know, and yeah, and the other thing is, you know, if you set somebody up, okay, well, you know, replicating the first ride, point where I turned around, and stop here and make a little camera adjustment. There we go. And yeah, that's right. Let's stop and start at the halfway point so that the camera doesn't actually time out on me. So the truck jumped there, if you were watching carefully. Anyway, hilarious. I lost my thought. The man, what the hell was I just gonna say? My train of thought just derailed. Yeah, no, I remember now. And you know, I'm guilty. I did this myself on the weekend. when you make up little sort of deadlines and tests for other people on the subject of tests, where it's the same kind of thing. You're setting them up for failure. It's just like, well, I want to know if they would do it on their own without me prompting them. That kind of thing. And that kind of thing never works out. I was sort of guiding someone into a I know that I have been snubbed for an outing, and I was trying to present an opportunity where I might actually get the invite, and of course it didn't come, and I expected that, but that's how those things work, right? You set someone up to fail, and they fail, and you cannot redeem yourself and again, I'm the one at fault here in this particular case that I'm talking about. You cannot redeem yourself to someone who's set you up to be irredeemable, and if someone's looking to find fault, you cannot redeem yourself to them, because they're just all they're gonna see is fault. And yeah, so I'm kind of ticked at someone, and sort of tangential to what's going on. It's not Elaine, but it is related to the whole thing. People pick sides. They say they don't, but they do. And yeah, it's just some people that I should have known better. Not only that, but there was a thing happened. Just before we got married, we had a little glitch, which wasn't not unlike this one, and maybe there's some redeemability here, but who knows where this is going to go. But anyway, this person that I'm thinking of, I totally forgot about something that they did, and yeah, I don't know. I should not have stayed friends with this person 8 years ago, let alone across the previous 8 years. But then, I don't know, people change, but do they? Do I? I was expected, that's part of the problem. I was given one of these impossible, the test designed to fail, and the deadline I wasn't told about, to magically do the thing that I couldn't do, and yeah, so anyway, back to the ride itself. Here's a little fire pit here, and the broken glass, and a bunch of other stuff, and a couple of older people riding their bike, much like me, although they're wearing the terrible shorts. You gotta wear the terrible shorts if you've got the greyhound skull for a seat, but why? Man, I really, my stream of consciousness is more like I don't know, not very stream-like today. It's more like a overflowing puddle, going in 14 different directions at once. And and much like the last episode, Tharsis is yelling in the background, trying to get into it. I guess he figures if I'm talking that he should be talking to. I don't know. Anyway, so across the bridge back, I'm doing really well here. It's a whole hell of a lot easier than it was the first time. Probably helps that it's 10 degrees instead of 30. That makes a big difference. And there's a lot fewer people out because of the looming rain, and it just, it's not summertime anymore. But yeah, you can see the blue sky in the distance there. The break in the clouds actually happened. I don't know, must be between bands of the storm that's coming in, because right now as I'm doing this, it is pouring outside, like total typhoon leftovers, drenching rain, wind, and the sort of weather that goes all winter. So yeah, I was glad I took the opportunity in the brief window of not exactly sunshine, but the brief window of at least not raining to zap out and go for the full baseline recreation. But yeah, I was out this again Halloween weekend. I went out and did my photo booth at the nightclub for the first time in 2 years. Not counting working at Vault, Vancouver Alternative Fashion Weekend last year, which was very similar to the booth, but that was a different. It was not the same. So yeah, the nightclub booth, I was out doing that, and then doing some roaming shots at another nightclub another night on. So that was Friday and Saturday. Sunday I was pretty tired and didn't get much done, and Monday I couldn't get started on Monday. Even though it was actually Halloween and there was the potential to go out and do stuff, just was still feeling kind of wiped out from Friday and Saturday. So I just worked on the pictures that I had taken on Friday and got those posted on Gothic BC, and so that was something that I haven't done for, well, yeah, over 2 years. It was, well, no, not over 2 years, almost 2 years, because it was November 2014 was the last time I did a proper photo booth. Yeah, it was nice. Lots of people glad to see me out, which felt good. Lots of we've missed you and that sort of thing. And yeah, it was good to see a bunch of people that I haven't seen for a while. Yeah, I'm editing myself now, thinking things that I'm not saying, so not so much clear consciousness. I'm not sure if I even want to say what I'm thinking, which I guess is why I'm editing. Why is that hard to say? I can't wrap my mouth around editing. Yeah. should have spoken slower at the beginning. Anyway, yeah, so almost back now. Get to the corner here. I am going to dismount and walk across, like I did on the first ride, and my legs are actually a little rubbery, like they were the first time, but not nearly as bad. The main reason I dismounted and walked across is because the guy in the truck there turning left, and the oncoming cabs and everything. I just didn't want to confuse anybody by riding across the intersection on the wrong side of the road. Again, I will break a rule for the sake of being safer, but if it makes me less safe, then no, I won't. So we'll walk across the crosswalk against traffic like I'm supposed to. Despite feeling a little rubbery, I am actually feeling better at this point. I'm riding back up the last little hill here back to the shithole apartment. Is always actually really kind of hard coming from this direction, because it's the end of the ride, it's uphill, and you're just so close to home that you sort of mentally starting to relax, but you can't yet because you got this one last hill to climb. But it's easier. It's way easier than it was the first time. So I have improved. It's definitely that definitely feels good. So now the part that doesn't feel good, going back into the all-knowing trashy shithole crap nondescript friggin' apartment that looks like every other friggin' mid-century crap hole apartment. God, I've got a certain temptation to get on a waiting list or something and get back into the old building. Get my apartment back, or an apartment like the one I had before Arlene and I moved back in together. One of the smaller apartments in the old building. I was checking the mail here. There is none. Rather than live in this hole. Look at it. It's just bleh. There isn't even anything in the lobby. Like, it's just this wasted space. Pick up the bike and carry. Now, here's another thing. This was nearly impossible the first time. I did not getting the bike back up the stairs was something I really wasn't sure how I was going to do it at the end of the first ride, but this time, no, it's not a problem. And we're back again. The only thing that's stopping me from getting on a list to get back into the old apartment is the strong sense that that would be really just going backwards 14 years, and I don't want to do that. So my little friends are not there to greet me like they were in the last episode. We're done here. I don't know why I didn't turn the camera off right away, but anyway, it's the end. We're back. We're home. And sort of a surprise ride out of nowhere.